Recording. Hey everybody, welcome to another session. Today we're going to talk about Revit content, where you want to access it. When I was first introduced in VIA, I basically created a bunch of contents for everybody to access it. Unfortunately, just that nobody knows where it is. Okay, so I just want to make sure that today I'm just going to give you the simplest, the easiest way how to access stuff. How to access the content locally. If you can't find the stuff locally, I'm going to show you a couple of websites that you guys can check. All right? You don't have to download it. You can just send the link to me. Oh, can you help me download it? Because I have access to a lot of this website. So just let me know. I'll just download it. I also put in the alternative places for content. So not everything has to be Revit. Okay, so if you want, let's say you're doing a design, you can always access some other stuff like, SketchUp is a perfect example. So I'm just going to show you how you guys can access that. All right, for our local content is actually exists. Okay, it's in one of these location. So what you have to do is that I'm just going to click on this. So what it does is that it has annotation, component, library, dynamo, models, and when you click on models, it basically goes into the version of that content. Okay? So how do you access this? I know that majority of people, they're not going to understand where the links is going to go. So I was just like, you know what? I don't want people to memorize where this is going to go. So what I did here, it's very easy. All you have to do is you just go to BIM standards. Okay, that folder, technical resources, BIM standards, just click on shortcut. Okay, go to shortcuts. You see there's a content shortcuts, okay, with all your stuff. And all you have to do, just copy this and just go to your desktop.
We don't see what you're saying.
Oh,
No.
you don't see it?
No, we don't see what you're
Oh,
saying.
okay, that's fine. Okay, yeah, there's some glitches here. So if you don't see it, okay, I'm just gonna exit out of this. Okay, so first you have to do is that the content exists in this location. It's under template, okay, BIM standards, under shortcuts. So in here, what I have is that I create a bunch of shortcuts for everybody to access. Okay, so what you do is that just copy it and just paste it here to your shortcut links. Now the reason why I prefer this method is because every year Revit keeps upgrading. So but for 2018, 2019, 2020, and forever, chances are, if you add shortcuts to your current Revit, what happens is that shortcuts you have to recreate it again for the next version and next version. So I had a thought about this, and I was like saying, you know what, if it makes it very easy, just create a shortcut. Now, I always recommend creating shortcuts because you can access it very easily. This is kind of like my project kind of a shortcut. I just dump it all in a folder. So if, let's say, IT ever wants to upgrade your computer, all you have to do is just grab all your shortcuts and then just transfer to your next computer. It makes it very easy. Okay, so I believe that this should be part of everybody's kind of like, workflow. So regardless of what software you're using, you all have access to the same shortcuts. Okay, Revit, AutoCAD, SketchUp, etc., etc. It's better to do it this way. So once you have that, then what you do is that you can just open up Revit. Doesn't matter what version you are in. Okay, since that particular shortcuts is on your desktop, now you can just access your content from there. Now, if you want to go one step ahead, if you want to, let's say, add a shortcuts, this is what I'm talking about, like copy and paste to your desktop. You could also do this, right? If you want, you could just go into every version and just say, okay, I'm going to add, my shortcuts. What it does is that it just basically at the sidebar here, it's going to add that shortcuts there. Now, just keep in mind this is version for the local version only, so every version you have to do it. So this could be a very tedious task. The other method I'm going to look into is change Revit INI file, which allows you to basically save all that content for like every version. Unfortunate thing is that I have to do it for every version and it becomes very tedious. Sometimes it could be messing up your Revit. So something that I'm not willing to do. But if you want to do like where everybody have access to the same shortcuts, then I'll dig a little bit deeper and then I'll I'll give you guys that option. But so far, if you access it from your shortcut, so all I have to do is just go open, okay? And what you have to do here is that just go to my desktop, which is kind of like your shortcuts, right? Very easy. And then what you have here is that, okay, you have content shortcuts. Click on this. I want to go to my model, 2017, and just open up what you want. Okay, very easy, just shortcuts. I know it's a little bit dig deeper. You have to kind of like, we know which version you're in. Just make sure you don't, like, let's say you're using 2019, you don't accidentally go to 2018, okay? Because it's going to take time to upgrade your model, okay? Just don't do that. Just go with the version that you're on. Any questions so far with this method? Pretty simple, straightforward. I hope everybody.
So in each of those things, you've got. Can you drill down into one of those things again?
Sure.
You've got. So you had.
You got annotations.
Yeah.
Okay. Annotations. So what you have here is that you have dimensions, line style, object types, patterns, text, elevation section, filters, schedules. Okay. So what this does is that once you open this up, if you want like a certain element inside that particular thing, you can just copy and paste.
Okay.
Right. So that's one of the things that, like, let's say for example, I want this code compliance notes. I just copy this, and let's say I got a new project. I'm just going to use none for now, just as a simplicity, Imperial. So I know. Hey, we got. Anyway, so what you do here is let's say I'm going to go new sheet. There's none. Okay, all you have to do is just paste it in, right? And then there we go, code compliance code notes. Okay, so it's just basically schedule. If it does have it, then yeah, you can just paste it in. Very easy, nothing too fancy about it. Okay. So if you want like certain hatches, let's say I know that a lot of people always ask like, okay, come on, give me some hatches. Okay, so you can go to patterns. Again, you just open up the pattern library. If you want to customize your own pattern, I do have files for that as well. So let's assume that this is all the hatch that we have currently. You can just copy it and just paste it in. If you want certain like customized hatch like this, you can just go in there, just copy what you want. Okay. Now, if you want to insert your own hatch, so what you're going to do, let's assume that I'm going to take this hatch, I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to create my custom hatch, duplicate. Let's say this is custom 1. In the fill pattern, this is where you're going to basically choose where you want to go, drafting or model. Assuming that you want to do drafting, I'm just going to click on drafting. I'm going to go new. Now, for custom, this is where you're going to say, okay, going to go import. Now, where are you going to access that? So click on desktop, click on content shortcuts, click on custom hatch pattern right there, graphics, hatch pattern. In here, it's just going to give you, okay, you want drafting or model. Right now, I just have drafting. You want AutoCAD or custom. I just put the regular AutoCAD. So basically what you have is that you have each patterns that is pre-configured to your version. So this is all AutoCAD patches. So you can just go in here and just say open, right? And then what I typically like to do is that, let's assume that this is 5 scale. Put in the X5, right? So the next time when the user has to do your hatch, it becomes easier. You don't have to do this for 2019 now, because once you do the hatch, you can actually go back and edit it and then add the scale, okay? Once you do this, right, in the older version, you cannot do that. So once you edit this, you see that that thing is already grayed out. You can't do it. So just make sure you put it in. This is the older version if you're using the older version. 2019, I think, 2020, you don't have to do this, okay? And once you have that, say OK and say OK, and voila, so you have your custom hatch. Okay, so simple, I just basically added on there. So all the shortcuts are in there if you need anything. Okay, any questions so far with this? I go pretty quick, right, because it's just basically trying to get people to familiarize with all the shortcuts. I don't want to get too deep into it because it's going to bore you guys to tears. If you want, I could, but no, I just don't want to do that. Okay, so just go in there. If you want templates as well, so in the future, what I'm going to do is that this template is a very simple template, 2017. In the next couple of weeks, I'm going to introduce a template for the working drawing side where you have all the stuff from, let's say, all the filters and all that stuff, what you used to know. I know that when you start a project from, let's assume that you want to do the early stage of design, you don't need to know all the construction documentation template, right? You don't need the schedule, you don't need all the filters, nothing. You just want a clean blank slate. So that's why this template becomes important. So because this one has virtually nothing in it, okay, so you build from there. But I have to build one for the construction documentation because sometimes your project starts from that phase and you want all of everything, okay?
So then when you're migrating a project between the phases, is your intention then that you would like put your schematic design model like into a new working drawings model?
No, it's just an add-on, right? One thing I'm noticing with the current how people does it is that if you put in a lot of construction documentation item into the design development, people tends to basically say, okay, what this filter does, what that filter does. Mm-hmm. It becomes convoluted because you don't know what filter does, and it's just adding so many layers on top. Mm-hmm. Like for new user, that could be overwhelming. And most of the time, filters can be transferable. Okay, so because I added in this little guy right here, content shortcuts, and you have, let's see, annotation, 2017. There's also filters and views. So you can actually transfer that item over if you need to. So the reason why is that, you know, not everything has to be in it, but if you guys want everything in it, okay, I'll provide that, everything. Okay?
So the workflow then would be if we started with a stripped down template,
yes.
Then we would add those gateways. We would say, okay, we need to upgrade the model to have all this the
yes.
drawing stuff.
Yeah.
Then you would do that for us.
Yes, yeah, I'll do that. Or if you guys need that thing, yeah, sure, just bring it my way. We need something that QA/QC kind of a thing. I'll probably do the same as well, right? So you have a consistency in your model, and then you're not bogged down by, oh, is this right? Is this wrong? Is this whatever? So you have this constant kind of objects. Okay, so let's now we talk about that. Let's go into the online content. Okay, sometimes you're not going to find all the contents locally. Okay, but I want people to understand what other contents are out there. Okay.
When you say content, you mean specifically things like
families, buildings, yes.
That sort of thing.
Right. Like sometimes what happens is that people wants to know, okay, I need a mechanical unit. Okay. Normally, mechanical would specify that, right? And often in my previous office, they usually do it like CAD, but I need it for Revit, right? Just to say what's the size. That's right. You want that, right? But unfortunately, just that sometimes the mechanical is not going to give us. So what you have to do is that we have to find that content online. Okay. Contents are all over the place. I know that Revit content is not that easy to access because it's all over the place. The other thing is that you require to register. So every time you go to a website, you have to register to download what you want. But if you don't want to do that, that's fine. Just let me know what you need, like spec sheet or whatever. I'll try to find the closest matching content for you. So this is why I'm here. So you guys hired me because that's my job, right? So if you guys want to do that, yes. Now, you also notice that there's very few cars, entourage, and plants inside Revit. Okay, even online, if you want to find this stuff, it's like almost close to nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
well, for free.
Yeah, for free, but you can still download them, but they're all going to be CAD imports. Okay, so you just be mindful about that. If you want to do it like real Revit objects, no, very few. Okay, so here are the content. I'm just going to zoom this out. All right, there you go. So the first one is going to be BIM Object. That's probably the largest out of all the other contents that I've encountered.
AutoCAD has a warehouse too, right?
Yes.
Which is probably the first place.
Right. But the nicest thing about this is that, let me go into the website. So I'm just going to go through every website just to see what is there.
I mean, because just in terms of reliability of the
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Now, this used to be Autodesk Seek. But it was taken over by third party, and now they're actually doing it more of all this stuff in here. So if you want to browse objects, so you go in here, let's say you want to like a fixture, let's say toilet, okay. And what it does is that it shows you a lot of stuff in here. So if you want, you can say click on this, okay. It'll tell you what they are, and then you click on this download. It tells you RFA. Okay. Some of them have SketchUp. Some of them have like all this notation and all that stuff. Yeah, you can download them. But if you really want this and you don't have to register, because register can be pain sometimes for this some of this website. It sometimes takes you 24 hours before they send you a link. If you need it, just let me know. I'll just download it for you. I'll send it to you. Okay. Very simple, very straightforward. So yes, so the next one is my favorite because it does have it's UK, okay. Yeah, this UK the amazing part about it is that if you click on their content, right, they do have tie-in with their specification. So it's a lot of stuff. Like I mean, they have a lot of metadata. So a lot of them they filter through. I actually upload some of the contents there too. But if you want to find some of the stuff, let's say for example, boom, what is it? The lift. Yeah, they do get nuts and bolts. Okay, UK is like probably one of the most advanced BIM users in probably the European side. They do nuts and bolts. If you really need this kind of a content, oh, there you go. So if you need this. Revit, okay? They do have cars, by the way, but it's a sport car. So if I put in a car, let's see, what do they have? Sports. F1. Oh, there you go. So if you need an F1 Formula car, yes, yeah, it's yeah, there you go. So this is a Revit, okay? So if you really want to do it, then yeah, this is the only one, okay? I don't know who built it, but it's there, so yeah. All right, BIMbox is also pretty good too. There's a lot of content out there. Just want to go through just like what stuff you guys will encounter. Library as well. Again, it's kind of like furniture. Like some of them are furniture oriented, some of them are like like mechanical oriented and stuff like that. Not every website's going to have everything. So I recommend people just check what you need, see what you want, right? Because there's so many of them out there. That a lot of this, they do filter stuff quite well, okay? Okay, if you want like auditorium chairs, it's there, okay? Some websites have this, some websites don't have this, so it's kind of like it's good to kind of look around what you need, okay? BIMsmith, again, it's the same. You guys can basically just go in there. I like ArtCAD. ArtCAD is kind of like one of those things that has like AutoCAD / Revit / whatever, right? So building product. I usually, if I want to do railing, like let's say if I want to search for railing, this is probably like probably the most intensive for a railing. So let's say if you want to do railing, you want to do glass railing, you say that, okay, there's CAD specs, whatever, and you can just go click on BIM, okay? Tell you what version you want, and you just click on it, and then just download it. Okay, this is the only website I've known that you don't need to register. So you can just go in there, search what you want, and download what you need. Okay, it's a versatile. It's perfect. You can just go in there. What it does is that it tells you what they're offering. Okay, it's very. I love this website. Just check it out. Revit City. This is kind of like everybody's. Whenever you learn Revit, everybody talks about Revit City. This is kind of like the dumpster fire of all the Revit families, right? A lot of this contents are like user-based, kind of like user upload. They're not the best for, let's say, if you want the most curated objects, because a lot of them are mixing CAD with Revit, so it's kind of like you guys have to go in there. But if you want to search for like really good objects, let's say, for example, I want to search for Terminator, right? Let's, for example, right? Okay, you have one. Okay, all the website doesn't have like all the sculptural forms, but this website certainly will, right? But they're not going to have everything, so just keep in mind.
Yeah, yeah. I like my recollection is really great variation in terms of the
Right, and this one has cars, okay? So if you want to download cars, but you just have to keep in mind they're all like CAD import, okay? They're not really meant for, kind of like hidden view kind of a thing. If you're doing mostly like rendering kind of objects, like for Enscape, it's just a perfect place to kind of download it, put it inside there, and then you can use it for more like rendering. But yeah, if you like this, just let me know. I'll help you download stuff. There's other stuff as well. So there's modular, Pontus. I won't go too much into it because I got into some of this stuff just recently. This one has CAD stuff in there. So if you're looking for for example, if you want an entourage for, let's say, figures, let's say if you want figures, they're basically CAD stuff, but I believe there is some Revit as well. So if you want, you can just go click on figures, just go in there. Come on, click on this. Yeah, it takes some time. Okay, so yeah, if you want, there's like a 2D element onto it, so you can actually put that into your Revit. Okay, but some of them are paid content, $1, €1. But
For something that really does not look very
yeah, I wouldn't bet on this, okay? Because this is like nah.
That's not what we want in our drawings. Like just
No.
a presentation. Like we might want to like spend some time.
Yeah, kung fu, karate woman. Yeah, this one, Vanguard. Yeah, that's what.
Single section.
Yeah, but if you want, if you want a dog. Yeah, so it's a content for like if you want to search for a specific. Okay, there's a man crease.
Do we have that kind of entourage right now? Like.
We do, but mostly it's on the CAD side of things, right? So if you guys want AutoCAD, I'll probably do one for the AutoCAD side, but mostly I think you guys are mostly focusing on Revit side. But if you do need it, let me know. I'll just grab you something, okay? Yeah. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Speaking. Go ahead. Okay. Yeah, I did written up a.
This list, right?
Oh yeah. Nobody's gonna read it. So what I did is that I do have a content. I gotta send you guys this documents. Basically, show you guys how to access the content, where to access the shortcuts. You guys could just download it. It has a list of the content here. I'm just gonna scroll the way down. You can this is how you copy shortcuts, and then the end it has this list of online content. Okay, so you guys can just go in there and just take a look. All right, what if you don't have stuff for, let's say,
Sorry, this is Brian and Dad in Seattle. Real quick, I think maybe just a word of caution that when we're building projects, we try to use content as much as possible. It's been done for the most part.
right?
So only needs something just
Yeah, just keep in mind that. Right. Yeah, just let me know. If you need anything, just you guys should just basically. Sure. Okay. Let's say, assuming that you want to do a content for a model. So I'm just going to go into the via library content. So via depot. Now via database, that's basically your share parameter. Okay. So everybody should be linking all your share parameter to this, because if I add a parameter, everybody's have the same access. In the past, what happened is that every project has the share parameter, but the unfortunate thing is that if you copy one parameter to your project, you cannot use it for the other project, okay? Whereas this one, if you use share parameter, it's basically going to be global. So what you do is that if you create a share parameter for this particular project, you can copy it and paste it into another project, it's going to work, okay? That's the reason behind it. The next one.
So is that something, when you start a project and you use a template, is that template already referencing those?
Yes, it is referencing to that, yes. Okay. The next one is via depot. Okay, so the first one is going to be the reference. This is from my old 2012. So basically, it's like a vetted. I think this is from the I think it was a Summit kind of a thing. So what I did is that I break up Summit stuff, and then I just basically just dump it like this, and then just use it as a reference. And what I did here is that I break it up, and then now I have a yearly version of it. So yearly version will have like differences in here. So in the annotation, what you have is that you have dimensions and all that stuff. Family hosts, let's say if you want to like nitty gritty, want to get down into it, there's like family hosts.
So you have the individual
individuals, yes.
in those folders as well as the
That's
Revit
correct.
models with all those things?
Yes.
Just because, I mean, I know I like to just like import
Specific.
the family.
Yeah.
As opposed to like having to dig through a whole model to find the thing that I'm
Right.
looking for.
Yeah.
So, and then that, personally I find it easier to find things
Yeah.
that way, but I mean, certainly
Sure.
if you don't know exactly what you're looking for,
Sure.
and some things I know you also can't
Yeah.
import as families, like your schedules, you'd have to copy and paste that, right?
Right. I also have symbol legends, so if you guys will like want to know where like oh, okay. Speak to the microphone.
Noted. Sorry about that, guys. It was Anne speaking. I was just saying that for me, I like to search families by the specific family. So I appreciated that he was showing us the folder where all the individuals are kept, as opposed to visually browsing through a model looking for those elements.
Yeah. Frustrating. I know. If you guys need like a symbols and stuff like that, this has a symbol legend, but in here, what you can do is that you can actually specify the object because they're embedded, right? So you can actually go in there and then you just say, okay, I want to copy. So this located here, right here, annotation, details, symbols, and legends. So let's assume that you want to find a fake door tag so that you can just fill it in as a fake for now, right? Oops. Sorry. What you can do is that you can just highlight it by tabbing it, and then just use this to create. And what it does is that you got like a big dummy tag. Okay?
That's not inactive.
That's inactive. So this is going to be part of the template anyway. So I'm just going to put this as a symbol legend, but just keep in mind that inside of this, you have this symbol legend. You can tab it. There we go. So you can actually create stuff like that.
It's not the live stuff that you usually use.
No, this is not the live stuff. This is kind of like the dummy, right? So I know that in the drafting, you say, oh, quick, AutoCAD.
Don't put that in your
Yeah, no, don't put it in, but it's there if you need it.
Maybe you shouldn't need it.
It's
Yeah.
good for slab edge. Sometimes you just can't use that
Yeah.
animation things.
But in Slab Edge, we can talk about that another time. But right now, I'm just going to go through every folders, symbol legends, okay? This symbol is basically just a breakdown of what they are in there. So basically, this is kind of like, it's the same as, this is the nested object. This is like have everything. This is the breakdown. If you like the, going in through, oh, I want a slope arrow, then yeah, you can do this and load it in. Because most of the time people is like saying, what the heck is going on, right? This can be overwhelming for a new user who doesn't understand how to edit this, because I know some people like to edit stuff, okay? Please don't, just let me know. I'll try to edit, I'll try to help you customize it, okay?
Can I? So these should all be part of the BIM standards, right? Like our drawings should all have the same roof slopes, annotations and that sort of thing. So that should already be the template we start with.
Yeah.
Cool. So basically, you wouldn't need to
No.
dig into it.
All right, there's also tags, okay? So some of these tags are used for, let's say, if you can't find, let's say, the new tags. I know sometimes when you tag something, Revit's saying, oh, you want to load a new tag, right? You can't find it. 2017, there's a detail tag, electrical fixtures. Some of the stuff that we normally don't tag, but sometimes we do need it because we want to highlight some objects. So
Like the generic.
Generic,
tag
yes.
would allow you to create a new tag.
yeah, if you want a generic model, because here what I embedded in here is that if you are doing like a lot of notings and stuff like that, rather than using text, I typically use like a comment or something so that when you tag it, that object has like a notation, okay? It's something that we want to focus people more into, tagging. So rather than using your average note tags, which, could be anywhere, using this tag, you can actually replace that, just put in a tag, it will just note it. It's saying that, oh, this is fixture 1, fixture 2, blah, blah, blah. Okay? Keep it very simple. So everything is in the object. So something you guys have to focus on is that it's no longer AutoCAD, it's more like everything, the data is embedded inside your model. And if you want, just keep referencing to that that object, and it will just tag it as it is. So that's kind of like the idea. All right. For annotations, so right now we have a component template. Okay, so this one, what you typically have is standard template. I'm just going to open it up. Let's assume that you have like elevation, everything pretty much built in. Okay, let's say this is kind of like your elevation tag. You want to have all the tags, everything with your objects. So how you're going to build this is that you're going to do, let's go back to the new project. Let's go new project. Sure, let's use architectural template. So what this does is that if you need to have a specific with all the annotation already built in, so all you have to do is just go to the load group. You click on that. Go to your shortcuts, content shortcuts, component template, let's say 2017. So let's say, for example, this is what I want. Open. You'll say OK. What it does is that it's going to take all the components, everything in there, and just paste it into this particular new project. So think of this as like if you're doing a standard template. Okay. Okay. Now you have it. What I'm going to do now is let's go back here. Model. You see that there's a model. I'm just going to load it in here. Okay. Now the benefit of this is that right now you add it in. There is one called the attached group. You see that I can just say click on detail. What it does is that it's going to highlight this. So if I want to go to my elevation, click on this, attached group. Let's say I want an elevation, and it auto tags everything. But you kind of have to make sure the scale is correct. Okay. So that's the idea. Okay, right. So let's assume that you want to do your very quick and dirty schedule your tags or schedule your, let's say, your fixtures and all your, the clearance height. Often what happens is that user would just insert in, retag everything, say this is mirror, and et cetera, et cetera. So what I'm doing for this is that you could just put it somewhere, away from your model, and then generate those texts immediately rather than spending hours just to generate each of this. And it's time saving basically.
So is this intended to be like a scale of your drawing?
Pretty much. That's the point, right? So I also built in. Let's see what do I have. So let's assume that I want to do the Lotus group. Let's go to desktop again. Shortcuts, component template, 2017. And then you have a unit template, for instance, right? So assume that you have a unit that's like all standardized for like several projects. So all the tags.
Sorry, can I just
Sure.
go back briefly to your Mountainite thing? So we could customize that model.
You can
grid
customize
for
it.
our project.
Yes. So this is kind of like supposed to be a standard for everybody.
Right.
And then later on, if you need to adjust it, you can just go in here, just adjust it manually. Okay?
For your project, but it would
Yes. Yes.
So if I place that grab bar in my model and do the copy element thing, where you tab in just to get that grab bar, will it
Yep, it still works.
automatically place it in the correct height, correct?
Not necessarily, right? Just be careful, right? Because this was done by another project. And I haven't invented this. Like basically, I just took it, took whatever it's in the original standards, right? And then I basically just combined everything and just create this just to show that you guys can actually do this. So, for instance, if you have like a wall. Let's say, for example, I want to do a wall. Right? Desktop, content shortcuts, content. I did one for the wall, just wall assembly, for example. So I know that wall assembly is going to be different for everybody. But for this wall, the reason why I put it in here is this will make it very quick as a template. Right? So all you have to do is just load it in. okay, I'm just going to go to this level 1, and you have this kind of like wall assembly, okay? It has nothing there. Let's assume that I'm going to go to 1 to 5. And now what you can do is just attach floor plan, and voila. It's kind of like the tagging is actually attached with that. Okay? Yeah, just don't mind the scale, okay? You just have to know, oh, there you go. Okay, so that's the kind of like the idea, right? So you have a wall schedule, you just basically have a template, and you just dump it there and then attach detail to it, and then basically you're done with your wall schedule. So it's kind of like a quick and dirty kind of a method, right?
So if I needed to customize that for my project,
Yes.
would I
Ungroup it.
you'd ungroup it and
Yes.
then you'd edit it?
Yeah, you typically, if you want to edit this, yeah, just ungroup it. If you, let's say, oh, this is standard, but I have to do customized stuff, yes, you have to kind of ungroup it, edit whatever you want, and basically that becomes kind of like your standard. Okay? So this is kind of like the idea, just trying to make it very, very quick, right?
You would actually have like all of the wall types and naming in that model from this.
That's pretty much, yes.
Would the actual
Yeah.
model walls be come in with this as well? Like the
Yep,
model-
the model wall will come in, yes. So everything is just, it's inside this template, right? Component template. So basically, it all goes in here. So if somebody wants to update that stuff, then, you know, everybody have the same thing, then we just update this and make sure that everybody's following the same thing. So this would probably,
This, I think this is interesting. And it seems like this is based on
sure. Yeah. So what, in the future, what I'm going to do is that if you guys send me your projects, I'm going to look at, let's say, for example, I'm going to take a look at everybody's project just to look at, okay, what content you guys have, and then make an estimate. Oh, this particular project has this content, that project has that content. Whichever matches the closely to one another, that's going to be the standardized content. The reason why I'm thinking about is we want to have a place. Right now, what happened with our depot is that anything goes, right? So this depot, right now, the model has a lot of stuff in there. So example, doors, okay, it's a perfect example. This door is basically when I actually put them together, it's basically leftover from, let's say, the Summit one, and then I saw one couple of doors that I've used in the past. You notice that there's a lot of door styles, right? But you're not going to use all the doors. Okay, you're only going to have like, okay, 1 or 2 doors with this kind of a style, and then that's pretty much it. So that's my next step would be to take, like, have another content that's model for construction documentation, and only follow up with all that stuff that is going to be used for construction documentation, so that you guys going to have one content that has all the material, all the doors information filled out. When you load them into your project, everything is going to be all scheduled, okay? So it's going to add it in, right? So rather than you figure it out, oh, this door, what is this? This is more like a designer kind of a door. You don't know if this project's going to go through, you know, a certain phase.
It's like a manufacturer.
It's a manufacturer kind of a thing, so anything goes, right? So this is kind of like the first version of the vetted one. The next version I'm going to build on is the schemed down version. So you're only going to have,
Via
yes,
approved
yes,
flush door.
yes. But the thing I need is sample projects, because I have to look at all the sample projects just to kind of, you know, kind of align itself to say, okay, what is the most used kind of like object, and then maybe I could build upon that and just focus on that particular door. So that way it gives me a guideline, rather than saying, okay, this is all the door you guys have, just pick and choose, right? Because sometimes designer, they like to pick and choose, but for, let's say, certain area aspect of it, you need to document them, you need to do certain things, then yeah, this one, yeah, will not work.
Right. Like we don't want a very basic door,
Yes.
flush door, that's going to just be our standard
Yes.
typical
Right.
wood door.
Yeah,
It's
that's going to be very ugly, and it doesn't have
just
the.
very simple, but it
Yeah.
appears correctly in plan.
Yes.
And end elevation has your
Yes.
swing.
Yeah, it
marks.
doesn't have this. Okay, I know some people like this 3D look. I like 3D look, but sometimes it can be overkill. But it really depends, right? If you want the visual, like, oh, looks good, looks very professional. By the way, our client likes it because when a VR comes in, it's like, oh my gosh, this is a real door. You can walk through it, right?
Right.
But-
Well, then it's also, is it a presentation model or is it a working model?
Yeah, exactly. So this is more of a presentation model. I would say like a lot of the contents that I have downloaded are all presentation, but I'm gonna do the next version where it's all gonna be focused on documentations and reporting the correct objects. Okay, it's gonna tie in the overall thing. So,
Are curtain wall panel doors in there as well?
yes, they do right here. Okay, so
Of course, as everyone I'm sure knows,
curtain wall.
doors and curtain wall, 100% different.
Yes, you have to be careful with that, okay? Now, one of the caveats, I think this is the template for the new version. I don't like it. I don't know why they put it in, but in the newer version, after 2020, they're gonna separate doors as curtain walls and regular door. So you're gonna have to choose the template. If it's a curtain wall, it has to be curtain wall. Yeah. Unfortunately, just that it further breaks down, but it kind of makes sense because what happens is that when you create a new a family, right? It doesn't give you the ability to choose, let's say, a door. Oh, it does have a curtain wall, right? But most of the time, people say, okay, I want to create a curtain wall, so I just say curtain wall panel. But in the past, what I did is that for a door, this is not a door until you hit this guy right here and change it to door. Yeah, that was kind of like my mistake, right? In the
You can
beginning,
make it look like a door.
you can make it look like a door, but it will not schedule like a door.
That's no good.
So, yeah. So, anyways, so those are basically okay. So something to think about. I always recommend. Okay, so if you can't find anything, Revit objects, you can always use fonts. Okay, I use fonts because fonts is fun. So if you want, you can use the font. If you want, like, let's say for like a map or something, let's say arrow. If I want to find arrow.
Can I just say, I know you had this in a tutorial earlier,
Yes.
and I struggled with it.
Okay.
I think, like, I think it's really cool
Yes.
what you're doing. I think it's awesome. I found it challenging and
Sure.
maybe not beginner level stuff.
Sure.
And
But this is more like an advanced stuff. Yes.
Yeah, so as far as content goes,
Yeah. Content goes.
our content.
Yes.
That would be,
But if you need it, just let me know. I'll just help you with it.
You can create that for us.
Yes. But if you want like a specific, let's say if I want to. Yeah, there's a lot of font. You guys can go in. I think I like the font. If you go to the font, they do have symbols and like a road sign, for instance, like this. What I've shown, right? Like one way, speedways, and all that stuff. That makes it very, like, for example, rather than model that stuff up, you would basically just create a font and just slap it on there, and it's very lightweight. One project I was helping out another guy, they were doing a lot of this Gothic cathedral. So if you want a Gothic kind of a look, yeah, you do, like, model this stuff up, it's impossible. So what I have to do is, like, yeah, for example, this one, Victorian, right? Yeah, good luck modeling this stuff. I'm not going to model it. So I just suggest to the guy, just like, okay, just use the font, right? Just slap it on. Nobody knows. It looks nice, and the way to go. So if you're doing a lot of old school, like Victorian, like a heritage building, use the font because it could help you out rather than just model it, right? Because I'm not going to model this. There's no way. But if you want to look at it like, okay, this looks presentable in 3D view, font works. All right, something to think about. Like, I know that warehouse, SketchUp warehouse is pretty cool too. Okay, I'm not sure if you guys use SketchUp warehouse and put it into Revit for presentation kind of a purposes. I use it quite a bit. So if you want, you can always go to the SketchUp warehouse. Open the link. So what it does is that you can go into SketchUp. It's free. You can just download whatever chair you want, right? Let's assume that you want this. You want to download. Now, you have to be careful because older version of Revit would not read some of this file, okay? Let's assume that you're using Revit 2017. If I use SketchUp 2017 model, it will not read. It just gives you error message. So you kind of have to use another step where you have to open up with SketchUp and then you have to downgrade it to version 7. So I did that, and then I have on for the, like, let's say, for example, this is a family I want to put it in. If I want to insert, import CAD. I don't know why they put in import CAD. It should say import external file, right? It's always so annoying because right now what you have is that you have SketchUp file and Rhino file. They're not CAD, but they call it CAD. Just lazy people. Yeah. Anyways, so here I have a template that I think I downloaded. Let me double check. Do I have it here? No, I don't. Okay, so I'm just going to go into my sample location. So let's assume that I want to load this particular family into it. So focus group, content access, example. So I have this, okay? This one's saved as version 7. The unfortunate thing is that this was a 2016 model. It wasn't able to open in Revit 2017. I believe the 2020 version is supposed to be the most updated, so it will accept the newest version of Revit file, but you never know what version they're going to have.
Like, you mean it would be able to accept old?
Version like 2018, 2017, okay, and all that stuff. But this one would not accept it. I have to downgrade to version 7, then it's able to open it. It's one of those weird things. But there we go. So if you need like a chair that looks like this, and it's for rendering only mode, like let's say if you want to put in an landscape or Lumion kind of a thing, I mean, perfectly, this is a perfect example. Just filling up the room. All right. That's pretty much it for today. So if you guys have any question, yeah, feel free. And also if you have any content you guys really need, just let me know. I'm here like 20. Sure. Yes, I will do that as well. Because the thing is that I have to look at the most relevant content. Like one of the projects I've looked at, it's like it's not very intensive. It's only like 4 or 5 different floor slabs, so it wasn't useful for me. This is why a lot of the time I have to look at projects that very like has huge kind of like roof assembly or floor assembly. Then I could say, okay, I'm going to use this as kind of like the base point moving forward. So that way we have like the most extensive, and a user can just go in there, just modify it, and get rid of stuff that they don't need.
Well, I mean, you might be able to organize that by
Yes.
like multifamily, for example, because they're going to have a very
Yeah.
limited range of.
Yeah, that's something. Yeah, the first thing is that I'm trying to get the template out, and then later on we can like organize it based on, okay, if it's for multifamily, if it's for high rise, if it's for below ground or below grade commercial.
I mean, I just say that because
Sure.
Because it'd be really good to have something very basic that we could start with.
Yes.
That has like the major 3 you might need for a basic, mid-rise house or something. Sorry, can you hear me? Sorry, I was just suggesting that that maybe for something like the floor and roof assemblies, you start with basic few items and worry about getting the more comprehensive group of families together at as we move forward, as opposed to starting big and trying to edit.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. It's something. It's like it's always going to be a moving. I wouldn't say moving goalpost, but it's like we basically trying to fit it in where everybody's happy with their content. But the content's always there. You guys just have to ask, right? Constantly asking the question, where is it? If you can't find it, don't struggle. Like, don't put yourself in that trouble. It's like, I'm going to go online, search for stuff without asking me, right? I'm always there. Just send me an email. I'll search it for you. So.
Can we go back to? Oh,
Sure. Yes. Right. Well, I think for us, I think in the future when we, let's say, upgrade to 2019 or added new version, I think we just use one standard, just use all Imperial. And then for us, we can adopt to metric as well when we need it. Because a lot of time, a lot of our contents are, I always had Imperial in mind, so a lot of our contents are built for Imperial. There's some projects where we're doing government works or transit projects, they all require metric, but it's just doing a hard conversion. So just type in UN for unit and then just change it to millimeters and then away we go. So it shouldn't be that hard. I know that there was some confusion because what happened is that when I start my template, I don't have Imperial template here. It was all Canadian, which I hate, I despise. I'm trying to download it and just trying to look at it, and then Autodesk is just being a prick, right? It's just giving me a lot of grief because when you download their content, it's actually the newest version, so you just have to be careful. I download the content, it's supposed to be 2017, but they actually give it me 2019. It's not backwards safe. Yeah, it's very anal. Anyways, so moving forward, we are going to use Imperial for Vancouver office. It's just that the previous version, 2017, I think when Brian installed a lot of our software, he just checked on the Canadian, not knowing that we just use Imperial. Okay, so that's the unfortunate. All right, any question?
I was going to say that I think Caroline was saying something about some entourage detail families that she developed, or
No, they were already loaded
They
in
were already
the
loaded?
tracking.
Yeah. Okay. I did load them in. Okay, so something to keep in mind is like I do snoop around projects, okay? It's just kind of like I'm just looking for families, right, just to fill it in. So in here, if you go to content and go to details and go to 2017, let's say, for example, this elevation. So what I did here is that I basically snoop around the SkyTrain, took some of the families and then put it in here as kind of a starting point, kind of a thing. So if you go in there, if you search for it, it's going to be there. So here, yep, there's the SkyTrain. There's the people. No, it's the SkyTrain, sorry. That's people. LRT. Now, if you need an objects, there we go. Okay. There you go. Simple trees, if you need it. Right? There you go. So if you need like a specific car, I know that some of this car can be very boring, but it's there. So if you have like a smart car, if you guys want to put it in. I know a lot of the time in the past we just put in Ferraris and Mercedes. Not appropriate for, let's say, low income housing. But unfortunately that it is what it is because that was part of like like a lot of this AutoCAD. I just merge in because a lot of this is market housing, so I have to show Mercedes and all that stuff. Yeah, but they're there, so you can just use it. There's a couple cars. Yeah, but if you're doing market housing, yeah, just put in Mercedes and other stuff. Yeah, I should look for a van as well, right? Oh, there we
was
go.
a van.
Yeah, I did saw it, so okay.
It's like lower down. There it is.
Oh yeah, there you go. Minivan, there you go. So if you need it, it's more for family oriented, yes. Sure, no problem, no problem. Hopefully that was good for everybody. I'm going to record this, so if you guys ever want to refer back to it, yeah, you can certainly do that. And I'm also going to send you guys this little tidbits, how to load content, just as an update, just to show you how to do it from the shortcut point of view. If you guys want to do it from the option, you're welcome to do this, right? The graphics. I tried it. I was like, I'm thinking about future. Not one version, but like multiple version down the road. This is going to be tedious for you guys. So it's I don't want to deal with this. Right.
I mean, where are we going to go? That also has to do with how frequently we're updating.
Right. Thank you very much.
2017